Hey there, it is Ruth Sherman, CEO and celebrity speech and media coach, but you don't have to be famous to work with me. Today, I want to talk about what it's like and what you have to do to be successful if you are pitching investors. Now, even if you're not pitching investors, this information is good for you for any type of business presentation. So, as many of you already know, I have been running back and forth to Silicon Valley, both to present and speak and also to work with clients. And what I often see is a founder, a CEO of a business, a new business that they have been working very hard, endless hours, trying to build, and it's been successful so far. They've got a market. They are moving through the needed steps in order to make the business viable, but they've been bootstrapping, meaning they've been using their own funds or they've been raising it through friends and families. And it comes time that they have to find an investor in order to scale the company and grow it so eventually it can be acquired or it can grow into something really big that they can then sell it for, or as I said, just grow it into something big and super profitable. And so they put together a deck, a PowerPoint or a slide presentation, and they book their investor presentation, their pitches, and that's when things start to go wrong. So I want to talk to you today about the four main things that go wrong so that you can be mindful of them and hopefully avoid them if, in fact, you are pitching, again, investors, which is my focus here today, but also any type of business presentation, you can pull something from this video. So the first thing that goes wrong, and this is so typical of business people, is that they are so deep in the weeds. They have been inundated and eating, sleeping, and living the process of getting that business up and running. And it makes sense that they might think that all of this technical stuff is something that investors would want to know about too. But that's wrong. Instead, investors want to be inspired. They want to be surprised. They want to be delighted because guess what? They are human. So presenters should be showing what they're doing instead of telling what they're doing. Show, don't tell. So here's what I mean. Let's say you have developed an app that does something better than the current competitors on the market are doing. So there are always going to be competitors, or I should say there will usually be competitors. I haven't yet worked with a startup that doesn't have some competition. So there's an app that they have that does something better. Whatever it is, a way to show versus tell is to hook up your mobile device. This is assuming it's a mobile app, hook up your mobile device during the presentation to a projector so it's projected on the screen and you can actually move through the process of buying whatever it is you're going to buy or acquiring whatever service you are trying to show your investors that your customers will also want to do. This is a wonderful way to do it instead of telling them how the process works. So just imagine, again, taking them on that virtual tour. Now, if you're not a developer of an app, you're not in the technology business, we're all in the technology business to some extent, but let's say you have a product, make sure that you bring that product with you, enough samples of that product so that those investors can feel it and touch it. It's amazing what those senses will do to advance your cause in their eyes. And have a story ready around why you developed that product. I just spoke to a client, in fact, who had a new way of pain relief, right? So instead of the usual going to the pharmacy and picking up some over-the-counter pain medication. She had something that was unique, a unique system for pain relief. And as we were talking, she was talking about the usual things, muscle aches, sprains, bruises, and so forth. And then she said, and it's also good for hangovers. And I thought that was funny. And so I made sure that she said that in her presentation, that she'd get a laugh. Humor is always a winner. And if you can find some humor in your presentation, great, to make sure you project that to your investors. Makes you likable, relatable. So that's it. Show, don't tell. The second thing that goes wrong is that founders and business entrepreneurs don't make a clear ask. Now, what you're asking for is money, and a certain amount of money. And the investors are going to be very prickly about this. They're going to start in on you right away as to why you need that much money and what you plan to use it for. So this is stuff that you should not just wing. You need to know this in advance. So work with your CFO, your accountant, whomever it is, and make sure you have the number in mind and exactly what you plan to use that for. Make your clear ask, and that should be done relatively early in the presentation. By the way, the product should also be shown versus told pretty early in the presentation. Within the first 5 minutes, both of these things have to happen. The third thing that happens is, as I was just alluding to, it takes too long to get to the point. This is something that happens a lot. The investors are pressed for time. They've got you and other people who are coming to pitch them back to back, let's say in increments of 30 minutes. And so to think you've got that 30 minutes is a mistake. Instead, prepare for 30 minutes, for 20 minutes, for 15, and for 10. Don't be put off if they say, we're running short, can you give us the Cliff Notes version? Just be ready to get to the goddamn point, as one investor told me. Also, please, please, please be prepared for questions you hate. These are the first questions you're going to get. People make the mistake of thinking, oh, I hate that question. They'll never ask that question. It's wishful thinking. It's magical thinking. Don't think that. Think they will ask it. They always do. Have an answer ready. The fourth and final thing that goes wrong is the presenter is boring. This is, of course, my stock and trade, how not to be boring. Show enthusiasm for your business. This kind of passion is contagious. If you stand up there and deliver your information in a droning way, if you're standing behind a lectern and you're just clicking through slides and doing a data dump, investors are going to be checking their Apple Watches. There is only so much money out there. And if you avoid these problems, you will have the best chance, a much better chance than somebody else of getting some of those funds. If you want to know more about how to pitch investors and other types of business presentations, hop on over to ruthsherman.com, where you can download complimentary videos, training videos, and other free gifts. And also, please subscribe here